What's going on, everyone? So this offseason, there's going to be a ton of talk about a potential star. Trae Young, Donovan Mitchell, somebody else comes on the horizon, right? There'll be some that'll be realistic, some that won't. Like, for example, a lot of talk going on right now that Devin Booker may become available, right? One, Phoenix probably never trade him to the Lakers. Two, we just compared to like teams like, the Thunder or, the Knicks, teams like that, they could outbid us easily. So, but of course, the Lakers is going to be linked to pretty much anybody that's available. But a guy that I think makes a ton of sense for the Lakers that I really hope is at least on their list is a guy in Lauri Markkanen, right? Lauri Markkanen, I think, would be a home run acquisition. Still only 26 years old. Talk about a legit 7-footer that can play the 3, you can play the 4, you can play him at the 5, right? That level of versatility at 7 feet would be fantastic. He's sharpshooter, guy shoots 40% from three-point range on high attempts, good volume, right? Playing alongside and slotted alongside LeBron James and Anthony Davis, that would be massive. Another big thing is like one of my concerns with a guy like Trae Young, right? Trae is so ball dominant and on ball, right? Can he play off ball when LeBron James has the basketball, right? Talk about LeBron and Trae both needing the basketball. Are they able to make it work? Will they be able to make it balance? I'm not saying they can't. We've seen plenty of stars come together and make it work. So, but it's definitely of something of concern. Same thing with even like a Donovan Mitchell. Now, I think Donovan Mitchell, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis, I think that fit would just be seamless. But again, Donovan Mitchell is used to having the ball in his hands, used to being on ball heavily. So you have that, again, questions of like, can guys sacrifice enough in order to make it work? But with Lauri Markkanen, you don't need that, right? With Lauri Markkanen, he doesn't need the ball in his hands to be effective. He's constantly a threat on the basketball court, right? He's a guy that can just, play, move around, put him in actions, right? But also whenever he's tucked away, he becomes a massive threat that teams have to account for and have to worry about. And a guy that go get you 20 to 25 on any given night and then some. Right? You compare him alongside Anthony Davis. You compare if you go get another big man. I've talked about maybe you go look at like a Valanciunas, right? Valanciunas, you could put Lauri Markkanen alongside. So say Anthony Davis misses a game, right? If you go get a Valanciunas, you could put Lauri Markkanen at the 4. Or like say LeBron misses a game, you go with AD at the 5, Markkanen at the 4, and then maybe bring in like a Jared Vanderbilt or whatever off the bench, right? It'd give you some versatility. Another big thing with Lauri Markkanen, he's only making $18 million next year, and he's an expiring contract. So, obviously, I don't want to trade for him for the expiring contract, but from a Utah Jazz standpoint, do they look at it as like, hey, if we can't get an extension, right, we may end up having to move him? Are the Lakers able to maybe reasonably acquire him? The big question is what would be the cost from a asset standpoint, right? Because again, $18 million, I mean, theoretically, you just swap Rui or you could swap D'Lo or whatever, right? I mean, there are lots of ways in which you could make that work financially, right? Say D'Lo opts in and there you go. But at the end of the day, it's like, does that make sense for Utah? What direction does Utah kind of looking to do? There's heavy reports that Lauri Markkanen is available for the right price, that they're not just going to go, like Danny Ainge isn't just going to go and give Lauri Markkanen away, but if you come at the right price, then you can acquire him. And that's just kind of Danny Ainge and how he operates, right? No one is untouchable, but some guys, you have to blow him away. If you get a good price, get a good deal, then maybe it's something that he would do. And for those that are like, oh, he would never send him to Lakers, he was the reason we did the Russell Westbrook trade. Clearly, there's some sort of relationship there. I get he's a Boston guy, but he's the reason we ended up making the trade that led us to the conference finals 2 years ago, and then even we're able to keep the pieces this year. So Danny Ainge doesn't care. He just wants the assets. He's a big asset guy, right? But he wants the picks. And he was on record a couple years ago talking about how he thinks the Lakers picks are the most valuable in the league because he thinks post LeBron, this team's just going to crumble and fall apart. Now, maybe for the long-term side of things, right, Lauri Markkanen, he is only 26, but post LeBron, what does that look like? It also depends on how much is Lauri Markkanen going to demand on his next contract, right? If he wants a max and you got to pay him $40 million, I don't necessarily think he's worth that. He's an excellent player, but to me, if you can keep him, 20 to 25 million, right? Say 4 years, 100 million, something like that, right? Then okay, but is he your second best player on a championship alongside Anthony Davis? That's where the problem is. So then maybe you need to go get somebody else. So, but for the now, I think Lauri Markkanen makes a world of sense. There are some reports going around, some just murmurs. Again, we'll know more once we get into the offseason, like the actual offseason. Teams are starting to make calls and stuff. But there's talks right now that Utah wants basically a haul, that Danny Ainge wants anywhere from 3 to 4 first-round picks for Lauri Markkanen. Now, again, one, just rumors. Two, it's incredibly early. Right? You see it all the time. We want 15 first, a superstar. You want Taylor Horton Tucker, right? You want THT. All right, well, we want Kevin Durant, Giannis, and Jokic plus 15 first, right? Like, it's just how it goes early on, and then that starts getting whittled down, and then ultimately you see, right? Even the Utah Lakers deal, right? It was started out as both first. You have to give us all your seconds. You have to give us 10 pick swaps. And it was just like crazy. Like, there's no way the Lakers are going to do that. And then ultimately what happens? It turns into all of this to a protected first, right? So again, it's early. As you see the offseason progress, as we get closer into the regular season, Utah can be patient, but do they look at it as like we'd get more in the offseason than we would at the trade deadline? Right? They also need to figure out, hey, Lauri, like, what do you want to do? Do you want to stick around here long haul, or are you looking to go elsewhere, maybe contend? Because again, he's still young at 26, but he's not 22, where it's like, I can kind of grind this out for 3 years and we can see where this goes, right? And then from a Lakers standpoint, again, I just think Lauri Markkanen would make a seamless fit. It's just, what's the cost, right? Because I don't think the Lakers, one, would give up all 3 of their firsts to go get Lauri Markkanen. Like, if they could get Lauri Markkanen for a first, or like, Lakers have 3 firsts, a couple pick swaps, and 5 seconds, right? So if you could do something like, let's say Atlanta's not willing to trade Trae, or you miss out on him, and you miss out on Donovan Mitchell, and you miss out on these guys. Because the problem is with the Lakers, if they can get Trae, they're going to go get Trae. If they can get a Donovan Mitchell, they're going to get Donovan Mitchell. It's the Lakers we're talking about here, right? They want the star power. But let's say they miss out on everything. If they still have the 3 first, I don't think they go, okay, well, since we missed out on these guys, let's take the 3 first and go get Lauri Markkanen. Now, if they get Lauri Markkanen for, say, a first and a pick swap, or say Austin Reeves, a first and a pick swap, then maybe you do something like that, and then you still have your 2 firsts, 5 seconds, right? You got Lauri Markkanen, maybe go get a DeJounte Murray, right? What if you could get DeJounte Murray and Lauri Markkanen, right? Now you go have like DeJounte. Got to go get a 2 guard. Maybe it's Max Christie at that point. So maybe you're going DeJounte, Max, Lauri Markkanen, LeBron, and AD. Doesn't sound pretty bad to me. That sounds like a roster that I could definitely get behind. But I do. I really hope that we hear like some real heavy Lauri Markkanen acquisition. Lakers got to at least do their due diligence, which I believe they will. I mean, Rob's really good about at least, contacting teams and just being like, hey, let's get a feel and see how you feel about that, right? He's of the philosophy, it doesn't hurt to ask. So I do expect there to at least be some dialogue, some conversation, some back and forth, but can we actually pry him away? Because he's a guy that I definitely have on my radar, and I would love to see the Lakers acquire. He's a guy that I think it'd be a seamless fit because, again, he doesn't need the ball in his hands. So there are none of those questions of like, does he fit alongside LeBron or Anthony Davis, right? Can he play with LeBron when he has the ball in his hands? Is he going to be able to play off ball? Like, yes, that's his entire game, right? Like, the guys that I've talked about that I think would just be seamless fits is like Kevin Durant, which, again, I don't really think is a real possibility, but he's so efficient, so good off ball, doesn't need the ball in his hands to be overly effective. He can go get you 25 on 12 attempts, right? Like, say Lauri Markkanen's kind of in the same mold. Obviously, he's not Kevin Durant, but I mean in the sense of like his efficiency, his ability to play off ball, not needing the ball in his hands to create for himself and things like that. And then, so he would be able to easily, in my opinion, play alongside of LeBron James. So, and now you got another 20-point scorer that can go get you and take over and play multiple positions and help on the defense side, help on the glass and rebound and do all the things that the Lakers need. So I really like the idea of Lauri Markkanen. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass a question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? Do you like the idea of Lauri Markkanen as well? Do you think no, let's go get a bigger fish? Again, how you feel, what your thoughts are. Love to hear it. Let me know down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.